Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be working on a project that coincides with something I have been planning since before COVID began, and I think it's finally time. What is it, you may say? Well, I'm going to Disney World! The first time I ever went was 7 years ago, and I haven't been back since, so it's time. But this time, I'm commandeering two really close friends to come with me. One who has never been there in her life, and another who hasn't been back in 25 years. And if those aren't reasons to celebrate, I don't know what freaking is. So I had this idea to create custom t-shirts to commemorate our event, which I will surprise them with once we meet up at the resort. I'm so excited, but I'm also running out of time, so let's just get started. When I first came up with this project idea, I knew I wanted to create something unique, with a design that could be personalized while still obviously being Disney World themed, but not under copyright. I started by sketching out a rough picture on my iPad of a castle similar to the iconic Disney World castle, as well as some character silhouettes that resemble each of the girls going on this trip. Then I printed them out. I cut out the entire outline of the castle and background. For the characters, I actually laid a plastic sheet over top, traced them onto the plastic, and then cut them out. Where did I get the plastic, you may ask? I ended up putting an empty lamination sheet through my laminator and using that, and it actually worked really well to make a template for the characters. So when I lay my character over the castle, you can kind of see where I'm going with this idea. Now, I'm going to be putting this design on these black t-shirts. I just picked these up at my local Walmart, but you can also find them pretty cheap on Amazon. I'll include all my supplies linked in the description below for anyone who is interested. I also cut up part of a cardboard box and slid it between the t-shirts so paint couldn't leak through to the back. This is definitely a step I'm glad I didn't skip. To start, I'm using a ruler to center the design as best I can. Then I tape that design down. Since this is a black t-shirt, I'm using this white marking pen by Clover to trace the shapes onto the t-shirts. And I actually stole this from my mom's quilting supplies, but shh, don't tell her. This pen will supposedly vanish with water or ironing, and it had no trouble disappearing when I heat pressed the design in the final stages. The downside is that the markings don't appear immediately, but rather appears with time. I probably could have used white chalk or pastel to get the design on the shirt too, but I got this, so I'm using this. I also went ahead and cut out the castle design, and if you're wondering why I'm being so cautious with my cutting, I'm trying to keep my template relatively neat because I plan on reusing it for all three t-shirts. Now, what other supplies am I using? I thought about buying fabric paint, but it's too expensive for a first attempt, so instead I'm going to be using cheap brand acrylic paints. I'm also using this textile medium by Delta. Now, I've never used this brand before, but I am familiar with using textile mediums. While I couldn't find the brand I normally use, this one had good reviews, and in the end, how you use it is basically the same. Before putting any paint onto the fabric though, I decided to stop everything and to test and see what colors I actually wanted to use. Once this was done, I decided to pre-mix all my colors. This helped me create a list of ratios to help keep colors consistent throughout all three shirts. I wouldn't have done this if I was just painting one shirt, but this really took a lot of hassle out of the process. And honestly, if you're unfamiliar with the medium or with mixing paints, it's a great idea to do this ahead of time. I even put my paint in small jars, and with the lids on them, they remained wet all day. I even taped around the lids and left them overnight, and it still worked perfectly the next day. Not gonna lie, I was super nervous about getting started. I might be an artist, but there's still this inane fear of messing things up. But it was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. Luckily, before starting, I realized I needed to put down a layer of white paint first over the black fabric to help get the true paint colors that I wanted. Whew, final step. To make the design permanent on the fabric, I have to use an iron to press the t-shirt. The instructions for my textile medium say to lay a cloth over the top and move the iron around the design for 20 seconds. I did it a little longer though. I thought it couldn't hurt at the time, but looking back now, I'm kind of hoping doing that didn't make the design too brittle. As you can see, I am finally done with the t-shirts. These took a lot longer than I thought they would, but I am happy with the results and I'm really excited to share these with my friends. As of filming this, there are only 4 days left until we all leave for this trip. I have a lot of packing to do still, so I'm gonna be signing out now, but stick around to see their reaction. All right, you can open your eyes.
Ooh! Did you make this? Did you make this?
Did you make this?
I did.
Gorgeous.
You made it. You made it!
I hand painted it.
Wait,
Oh,
onto the shirt?
So
Yes.
pretty.
You didn't do a print?
No, I hand painted it. Ease is cracking a little bit.
They're gonna crack after a while. It makes it
Yeah.
aged
I love
and
it.
character.
Yeah. Oh.
Nice. Nice.